Good afternoon. It is Friday, January 16th. It's currently 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I just got done dropping my wife off here at the airport. That's why I'm sitting here in the airport queue, as you can see on the screen, to start this Friday. This is a marathon weekend for me. My wife is out of town, which means I'm on a driving bender. I'm going to be doing a lot of it this weekend. So hopefully the rideshare gods are in my favor, and I'm busy and I'm making some money, and we are cranking out rides. And so that's the big plan. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about driver safety today, and really some of the tools and some things that you can do to be safe out here. There's some crazy stuff that's been happening recently. I don't know if you've seen it in the media, but we'll talk a little bit about that. Everything from Kiefer Sutherland to some other drivers getting shot. I think that was in like Texas, I believe, or something like that. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that, and also just some stuff that I think is a must-have, and that I've really come to appreciate having here in the car. And one of those is this right here, the dash cam. I don't know if you can see that up there. Let me turn this a little bit. There you go. This dash cam right there. The Redtiger F17 Elite. We're going to talk about that. So that's the plan right now. Really, the plan right now is for me to sit here and wait until I get a ride that gets out of here, go into town. I'm going to take a little break in the early evening. A buddy of mine's retiring, and I'm going to go to his retirement party, and then I'm going to be back out here doing this until the late hours of the night. I do have a reservation already for tomorrow morning at 3:30, and my plan is to basically work all the way through to then and make that my last ride, unless something else comes in that's intriguing to me, and we'll maybe stay out a little bit later. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, it's going to be a long night. Tomorrow's going to be a long day of driving as well, after all football games, and then back at it on Sunday and probably Monday morning. So, because Monday's a holiday. But anyway, that's what we got going on right now, and we're going to see if we can match on this. Oh, too quick. But yeah, we're gonna see how this plays out today. Nothing really going on downtown. Is there a Kings game tonight? Let's see. There's a Kings game tonight too. So that's going to help out tonight. That's a good deal. And there you can see my reservation for tomorrow morning. $26. So yeah. Oh, let me catch you up on the week. We'll do that. So here's the earnings so far this week. I did drive a little bit this morning. I got 36 there, and then if we look at Lyft for the day, one more. There we go. Oh, hey. Oh, you know why? Because it's there. There you go. 34.25 and 36. So what is that? $60? $70? $70 so far. I didn't do anything with Lyft this morning. That's right, because I had three reservations with Uber. So $70 already on the board for today. The goal, we're going to put the goal right up here. Considering the $70 is already in the books, we're going to put the goal at $250 tonight. So $250 right up here. $250 for the day. I'm really confident I'm gonna hit that. I probably could make it even a little bit higher. Maybe we should say 300. Should we say 300? Let's go 300. 300 is the goal tonight. 300 right up here. $300. So that's what we're going to try to hit. I think that's a good stretch goal, considering I've already got $70 in the bank right now. So I think that's very doable. All right. Let me hang out here, because that's basically what I'm going to have to do. I already opened the Monster. We'll do a Monster open later on. We're rolling here. We're ready to go. So yeah, so lots to talk about, lots to do, rides to get, money to make. It's a Friday night. Let's get this thing done. I'll be back here in a little bit with updates throughout the afternoon and the evening and the late morning hours. This is probably going to end up being a pretty long video. And if it's super long, I may cut it in half and do half and half. So we'll see what happens, because it's a long day. Anyway, I'll be back with updates. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, just back my first ride, and it's a banger. I think it's like 15 miles for $25 going into East Sac. I'm very happy about that. That'll kind of get me down there towards the grid area, which I should be able to pick up another ride coming back here to the airport without a problem, which I think is going to be the play right now in this afternoon time frame until, let's see, till people start getting off work. So we'll see. But we're off and running with a nice ride. This came through on an airport radar. I don't know who passed this up, but it's a comfort ride, 15 miles, 25 bucks. I will take that all the time, especially considering where it's going. So we're rolling. We're ready to go. Oh, I didn't, when I got started here, I didn't show you. That's what I've done so far for the week with Lyft. Lyft has been rather quiet for me this week. Not a lot of action, a lot of shit rides, and Uber has been kind of stealing the time from Lyft with their rides. Ride quality right now with Lyft is back in the trash can again. I don't know what they're doing, but the rides are just junk. So anyway, let's go get Jim here, get him into SAC, and we'll see how the rest of this afternoon plays out before my break. All right, I'll be back. All right, just finished up the first ride. Got number riding 2, going back to the airport. I think it's like 15 miles, something like that. 21 bucks back to the airport. 46 bucks in, 2 rides. I'm loving this. We're hitting some solid rides right now. And I think this is going to work out well for me, because if I get to the airport, hang out there and get a ride going back to like Rancho, Folsom, maybe Roseville, El Dorado Hills, something like that, then that'll get me back out there in time for me to kind of take my little break, and that'll be perfect. That'll be ideal, is what that will be. And then yeah, so then we'll reset, come back out in the evening, and then we'll finish on with the night. But so far, 2 really good rides right now, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a decent one out of the airport again to get out of there. So we'll see. But yeah, we're doing okay. Good start, really good start to the night. And as you can see, Lyft's got some little flash turbo stuff going on, and it was 10%. Now I just went to 45. I tried to get a match with them, but I just, for some reason, I'm not getting any love from Lyft lately. I don't know what the deal is, but I did something to piss them off, because they don't want to give me rides. And then when they do, they're crap. I'm getting like the scraps. It's no fun. All right, we're gonna go get Francesca here, get back to the airport, and continue on. So I'll be back here in a little bit. All right, just wrapped up that second ride. I got another offer when I was just about ready to drop her off, for $18 to go to Woodland, which is 10 miles. And I accepted it, and then the rider canceled on me, bastard. That was a good ride too. But if you're a Sacramento driver and you're coming to hang out here in a queue, I'm gonna show you, and maybe you know this, maybe you already know this, but as you can see on the screen right now, there's a 45% little turbo boost there for Lyft. There's a little secret here, that you can go grab that turbo boost and still be in the queue for Uber. So watch, we're gonna do this. If I can get over in time. I got this hooker. Get out of the way, lady. Yes, I know I need to go there. I'm going there right now. So we're gonna go in the lot. We're gonna show up in the lot here. Bear with me as I drive in. Anyway. Let's do this. It's gonna show we're in the lot. Come on. There it is. All right. So we're in the queue for Uber right now. Now let's go grab that 45%. Because the wall, the fence, whatever you want to call it, the geo fence for Uber is way down here. It's actually at the Air Metro Park is where it's at. So you see it's telling me I need to navigate back, or where that little turnaround is, where it wants me to turn around, is right about where that 45% is. So we're gonna go grab that 45% and then go back into the queue with it with Lyft having that 45% boost and still be in the queue for Uber the whole time. So we're not going to lose our spot. So here we go. It's going to take me a couple minutes to get there. Anyway, ride quality right now has been freaking on point with Uber. Aside from that cancellation, that would have been another solid ride. Damn near $2 a mile. It was $1.80 per mile for that one. I'll take that all the time. Yeah, so Uber right now is killing it with ride quality. Lyft, again, not so much, but that's all right. We're gonna make up for it here shortly. There we go, 45%. And now we make our little U-turn right here, and we go back to the queue. And I get to keep my 45% in the queue. So now when the rides come in from the queue, oh, sun in the face. Now when the rides come in from the queue, I get the 45% boost on top of that. Little secret. So if you're a Sacramento driver and you're coming out here to the queue, you need to do this because it's an easy way to get that boost into the Lyft rides coming out. Because sometimes the airport rides out with Lyft gives you on the way out, they are chintzy sometimes. I mean, they're paying like 60, 65 cents a mile on some of their stuff, and that's ridiculous. But that 45% helps out quite a bit. It makes some good rides even better. So if you're a Sacramento driver, leave a comment down below if you know about this little loophole and if you're using it. And if you haven't used it and you did use it, how'd it work out for you? Let me know, because I've been doing this for a little bit and I haven't shared it, and I should have, because I'm full disclosure here. I got no secrets when it comes to this stuff. I'm trying to help everyone out. And yeah, so there we go. All right, I'm gonna move back in here into the queue and post up and see what I get. I'm looking for a ride right now that's going towards home. Folsom, Rancho Folsom, El Dorado Hills, maybe Granite Bay would be all right. But something out towards the east is what I'm looking for right now. And good paying. And I can see that there's airplanes coming in and landing right now because they're all stacked up here. I can see them in the lineup here, which is awesome. So yeah, so we should be getting some biz here. All right. I'll be back here in a little bit with more updates, and let's see how this plays out with this little boost I got. So I'm hoping, oh, sorry dude, I don't want to run you over. I'm hoping I get something solid, because that's what I'm looking for. Actually, we're gonna go park in the shade. No, not going to Manteca. That's a shitty ride right there. Look at that, 51 cents. Yep, not a chance. Someone's gonna take that ride. I don't know who, but someone's gonna take that ride. And that's a bad ride. That's below damn near like what, well, not really. My cost is a little bit lower than that to drive. I would still make a profit on that, but that's too, not enough. Not enough for that far, not enough. That should be close to $1 a mile for that shit. And you know that Uber's probably getting like 80 bucks on that for that ride. But that's the game, right? That's the game we play. All right, I'll be back here in a little bit. Last night's video got sidetracked a little bit. I had some stuff come up with the family after I went to that retirement event that I mentioned. And I basically shut down last night's drive at like 9:30, and then went home and got some rest. And then I got up at 1:30 this morning, because today is Saturday. It is Saturday the 17th. I got up this morning. I had a couple of reservations. As I mentioned last night, I had a reservation at like 3:30, and then I got another one at 5. So I figured I would just go home, get some rest, and then come out early morning hours and do those rides and do some other stuff, which I've done. And actually, it's been pretty good morning so far. And right now I'm sitting in the airport queue looking for a ride to get me back home to shut down for right now. But I wanted to come back and talk about driver safety, as I mentioned earlier in the video yesterday when we started. And we'll go over numbers and stuff like that too. But anyway, I've never really given a lot of thought to driver safety, just because it's not really something that I think about. Really, it's not a big focus for me, and I have been playing with the idea of having a camera in the car to help with inside the cab, and which kind of leads to today's sponsor, which is Redtiger, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But I think overall, for driver safety, I think there's a couple things that you need to do and be aware of. And I kind of agree. If you've watched any of Vinny Cuz's videos, he's talked about it numerous times. One of the things I believe this too is I don't like to have people sit right behind me, especially dudes. That kind of just makes me uncomfortable. And I've asked guys to, like, hey, do you mind sitting over on the right hand side? Most of them are like, yeah, no problem. Or I always make sure that I pick up people where they're going to get in on the right side all the time too. And it could be simple as going around the block in a different way to make sure you get that pickup that way. But I think that's something very basic that you can do, is to kind of force passengers' hands to always get into the car on the back right hand side. It just makes it, I think it's a better experience for you and for the passenger. But for the driver, it's just easier to see them, whether it's in the mirror or out of the corner of your eye, what's going on. I've never had, knock on fake wood, I've never had an issue of where I felt unsafe. There's been a couple times where I've picked up some dudes that I'm kind of like, I'm not uncomfortable, but then again, I'm not completely comfortable, and you never really should be completely comfortable. But it is what it is. The other thing that I think you should have, and I have one of these in every single one of my cars actually, and I've always had one of these in my car, is a knife. And this specific knife has the point right here where you can break the glass. It has a seatbelt cutter, and then it also just has a regular knife blade or whatever. And I keep this readily accessible for whatever situation, right? And I think it's a simple, basic thing to have in any vehicle, mainly because if there is an emergency, you need to break the glass, this will do that. If you need to cut a seatbelt, it'll do that. And if you need some protection, you have that, right? Basic things like that. Other things I think you can do for driver safety is be a safe driver. I think that's probably one of the most important things that you can do is be a safe, courteous driver. I get a lot of compliments, especially from Lyft passengers, about my driving. Recently, that's kind of increased a little bit, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the car's driving and not me, which says the car's a better driver than me. But the car obeys all the laws. It does everything it's supposed to do, and it's a much smoother ride. It really is a much smoother ride, and I think that helps out. But that's definitely something that'll play for your favor, is for your safety and the passengers, is to be a safe, courteous driver when it's out there. I've seen other rideshare people, I'm going to say dudes because most of us are guys, on the highway, and I'm doing 75 and they're blowing past me. I think if they have a passenger in the car, I would be shocked if I was the passenger sitting in the back seat and that happened. That's just, to me, that is just an unsafe experience to be a part of. And I think as a driver, that's just not something you want to be doing. And then finally, let's talk a little bit about Redtiger. I think that, again, I look at this as a driver protection tool when it comes to driving. The Tesla has 9 cameras. There are 8 exterior cameras, and there's a camera right up here that watches me when I'm driving. But what it doesn't do is it does not record inside the cab when I'm driving. It doesn't do that. And so I've been always kind of floated the idea of having a dash cam, but I really wanted it for the inside. And I think that's one of the great benefits of the Redtiger, is they have not only the exterior facing camera records in 4K, the interior camera records in 1080, but it also records in color. So the screen, the video that comes out of that is very clear, and you can really see what's going on inside the cab, as opposed to the typical infrared where everyone's eyes look weird. It's in black and white. The contrasts are really bad, especially in the back. That makes it really difficult to see kind of what's going on. With this camera, which is the Redtiger F17 Elite, this camera records in color and in 1080, which is phenomenal. And then on top of that, there is a rear camera, and I have the rear camera positioned not to go out the rear of the car, but to see from the rear of the back into the cab from the back. So I have two views of what's happening in the back seat. So if there's anything going on, I'm getting a front view and a rear view with this Redtiger. And that, to me, that's kind of an optimal situation, because again, the car has exterior cameras, so I'm covered there. What I'm not covered for was what happens in here. And I think if you're doing rideshare, to be quite honest, I think if you're doing rideshare, you need a dash cam. I don't think there's any excuse not to have one. And mainly for this point. There's been numerous occasions where I have transported single female passengers that are passed out drunk. And if you watch Future Rideshare Millionaire, I think his name is Tristan, he just did a bunch of short videos where he was talking about getting deactivated because someone filed a complaint against him for some improper activity. And the only thing that saved him was the dash cam video of that ride that he was able to provide to show that nothing happened. And that's, for me, for my own personal safety and my own personal liability, that is the number one reason why you should have a dash cam, is to record what happens inside the cab. What happens outside, if you don't have a car like a Tesla, then yeah, I think that's an added bonus, because it's going to help out if something does happen, you get in an accident or something happens, you have that video footage to show who's at fault, especially if it's not your fault. But I think from a rideshare perspective, what happens in the cab could be detrimental to your livelihood of earning money if you're a full-time driver and someone makes a false claim to get out of paying a ride, because that's their motive. They will make, passengers will make a false claim. They'll give you a 1-star rating so they don't have to pay for the ride. And for me personally, that is not acceptable, right? I don't want to get deactivated, because what happens is the rideshare companies are going to listen to the passenger first. They're going to deactivate you, and then you're going to have to spend the next week, 2, 3 weeks, month trying to get them to put you back on the platform, because you did nothing wrong, but then you have to prove it, right? You're guilty with the rideshare companies until you prove your innocence, not the other way around. And a dash cam is going to help you with that. So I think if you're out here driving full-time or part-time, there's no excuse not to have a dash cam. And a dash cam like the F17 Elite is really going to help you out. Again, with the color inside the cab in 1080 and the exterior at 4K and the rear camera, you are completely protected. And not only that, it has a sentry mode, so if you're parked somewhere, it does a sentry around the car, so you're protected there if someone tries to get into your car, vandalize it when you're not in there. And just the other features as far as being able to download the video into your phone. I have a 1 terabyte card in the camera, and I can record multiple days on that card and not run out of space. So on any given shift, you would have enough room to be able to record an entire shift and always have that footage there if you needed it. I personally, what I do is I take the video off, I build it onto a hard drive onto my computer, and I store it there, and then I pick and choose what I want out of there. So I want to thank today's sponsor, Redtiger. I really appreciate them reaching out and offering to send me a camera to review. And quite frankly, I've been very impressed with the camera. The quality has been fantastic. And through this whole segment, you've been watching video of what's coming out of the camera. So I would strongly encourage you, if you don't have one, please reach out. The link in the description, use the discount code, and get yourself set up with a Redtiger. I don't think you're going to regret it. And thanks again to Redtiger for sponsoring today's video. Now let's take a look at some numbers so far. I'm trying to get one last ride for the day, but in the meantime, let's look at where we're at right now. As you can see with Lyft, I think I've only done one ride. No, I did two. 921 plus today's ride for 603. That's all I've done with Lyft. Uber's been dominating the day again with what they've done. So this is what I've done so far, partly with this morning. 50, 59, 4 rides right there. This has been the majority of it right here. This goes back to yesterday. So 198, and then this started out on Friday morning where I'm starting my clock right there. So I think right now I'm at like just short of 300. And if you remember, the goal was 300. And because I had to split the shift, I'm still going to keep that because I'm going to come back out tonight and drive again tonight. If you remember, this is a marathon weekend for me. I'm on a bender. So I'm going to try to tackle another big goal tonight. But you'll see that video after this one. But right now, that's where we stand. I'm going to get one more ride here. There's really horrible fog here in Sacramento right now, which is delaying flights coming in, and I think I'm going to have to wait here a little bit for that. So I'm going to wrap up this video. It started yesterday, and we're going to wrap it up today on this, and that's where I'm at. I know I'm going to hit my goal because whatever this next ride is that I'm going to get, I'm going to hit that goal of 300 because I think right now I calculated it out. I can tell you. I'm $6.62 short on the goal right now. Whatever ride I get out of here, I'll hit that goal for sure and make my 300. But yeah, so this video is kind of way out of the ordinary since it's taken place basically over 2 days. But that's the way it's going to work. That's the way this one's going to work out. But in the meantime, I'll be back at it today, later on tonight after football. Go Niners, and I'll be back out then, and we'll drive into the late night hours again, and we'll see how that plays out. But thanks again to Redtiger for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. If there's any tips that you can give to fellow drivers regarding safety, driver safety specifically, do that down below. And if you don't have a dash camera, please use the link and the discount code in the description to get yourself a Redtiger. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. It's a really quality product. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, thanks.